Hello, hello. It is August 19th.
You got it right,
Summer
Dave.
is almost over. Summer is almost over. And you're tuned in to Nez Says, a place where musicians can get together and inspire each other to play more music and more guitar, more bass. Uh, you can play Guns N' Roses music. You can play with an orange amplifier. You can do whatever you want. And as always, my two best friends and co-hosts, Ty Price and Ben Coombs. How are
Hello,
you guys?
Dave. I'm wonderful. Hey, Ben.
Good day, Ty. Good day, Dave.
G'day.
Wow. Summer definitely. Yeah, I think we're at about 1,002% humidity today. Perfect. And then it rained for about 20 minutes just to make it more humid. Perfect. Ty knows what I'm
Raining.
talking
It's
about.
raining here right now.
I can literally watch the grass grow today. It's just perfect conditions. And, summer's here. Like I say, we're tuned in. We're tuned up. Some of us are tuned out, but that's okay. And I'm looking at the chat because it's just ticket already here. And I love it because I see the Hitman Dwight Bailey. I see
Hey,
Tim
Dwight.
Thomas, Gear Junkie 35, Thomas Santiago, House of Twang, Papa Blue, Fruitcake Tony. Host
Hey,
of
Tony.
Show Me Your Pick Saturdays at 9 p.m. on the Fruitcake Tony YouTube channel. Why do I plug that? Because I will be guest starring this Saturday. We're talking Triumph Power Trio.
Oh, that's so awesome. I love Triumph.
Yeah, that's going to be a fun time. Guitar Man 45. He says 45. Number one in my heart, though. Dan of New Jersey. Let's see who else we got in here. I'm scrolling back the pre-gamers here. Oh, yeah. Randy Crooks. I knew he slid in here. I thought
Randy.
so.
And Thomas and Mark.
Some guy named Niz says no clue, not a clue who that is.
Gear Junkie.
Gear Junkie 35, yeah. Mark
There's
Effects.
Guitar Man.
Marky FX is here.
Nice crew.
Yes. It's a good
Yeah,
start.
that'll be cool. Tony show on Saturday night doing some Triumph.
Mm-hmm.
What's your connection to Triumph, Ben?
I recorded my one and only album at their studio, Ty.
Oh, really? So it's not just the Canadian connection.
Nope.
Yeah.
And I met 2 of 3 members, I believe, during my weekend of recording there.
Oh, that's cool.
All 3 members keep offices there, which was interesting. Even though Rick Emmett left Triumph like back in the 80s,
Right.
he still maintained the business side, co-owning their studio together, as well as I think there's now sort of a musicians institute, we'll call it, but for pro recording, that they have a school on site at the studio as well, which is really, really neat. So if you want to learn how to be an engineer, producer, you can go to Metalworks Institute at Metalworks Studios. Imagine that. Yeah.
Nice.
That's
cool. Tell us about this album that you recorded.
That was with my band, One Day to Live. We were very hard rock, very, very hard rock. Not quite metal, but we were definitely, peeking through the shades on metal, that's for sure. And we hooked up with a buddy of mine from high school who did well in real estate in Toronto, who decided to become our business manager and said, you guys need a demo. And we went in to record a demo, but the demo turned into an 8-track album. And it was great. Great experience. Beautiful studio. Got to record through a Neve board.
Oh,
We
sweet.
were able to use studio number 1, which was the original iconic studio that, speaking of Guns N' Roses, Use Your Illusion 2 was recorded in that same studio. Half a dozen Rush albums, of course, a bunch of Triumph albums. And then you get into pop, like Cher recorded there, Celine Dion, huge albums recorded there. It's an amazing studio. Then, of course, you see it in our intro, all the gold records on the wall. That's the front lobby of Metalworks Studios.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I bet that was fun.
It was.
Was that the biggest studio you've recorded in?
That's the only studio I've recorded in.
Okay. So
And that was all a result, honestly, Ty, you know me. I can have silly comebacks to questions on occasion. And our business manager said, so where should we record this EP? And without missing a beat, I said, Metalworks Studios. because it's the top studio in Canada ever since Little Mountain shut down out in Vancouver, where all those amazing albums were recorded with Bob Rock. Metalworks took over as the #1 studio in Canada. And
that was Bruce Fairbairn's studio?
Yeah, it was so it was quite the, and I just said it flippantly, and then my buddy contacted me and goes, I can get studio #1. I'm like, yes, it's got the Neve.
Wow.
So yes. And we were able to get a discount rate off hours. So we just went over the course of a weekend, and we just spent like 10 hours a day in the studio for 2 days.
Or 10 hours a night?
Actually it was daytime.
Was it?
Yeah, we had to do it during the day because they supplied the engineer. We self-produced, but it was 9 till 7. We would work over Labor Day weekend, no less. That's what we did.
What was the biggest surprise for you? What was the most unexpected thing about that experience for you?
I recorded 1 track in 1 take.
Really?
Yeah, I 1 take the track, and it was just weird. It was all the other band members had left. A couple were outside smoking. A couple went out on a food run. It's just me and the engineer, and he's like, we finish up a track. He's like, on to the next one. I go to lay down my part because we're each doing 4 tracks at a time, just for continuity. Once you had your gear set up, you recorded 4 parts, and so I hit it, and I was going through, and I'm like, oh, this is going well. Okay, we finished the track. And I said to the engineer, I said, I know you're not technically allowed to produce. Like, it was really written into the contract. He cannot answer questions as far as production side, just technical questions. And I said, dude, there's nobody else in the room. Do you see a reason for me to go through that again? And he says, I didn't hear a flub, dude. I didn't hear a flub at all. And this is a guy that's been recording for 15, 20 years at that point. So,
oh, that's cool.
Yeah, that was shocking.
That's a good feeling.
So you're recording hard rock. Do you remember what your studio setup was like? What guitar you were tracking with, or primarily tracking with, and what amp you were
the guitar
primarily
I was
using?
primarily tracking with, I no longer have. It was actually my fiance's guitar at the time, which was an Axel Badwater 1216, which was Axel's take on a Les Paul.
Okay.
Beautiful little playing guitar. My backup was my Jay Tercer, actually, which was used on 1 track. And I played through a Fender half stack right there, which is a Frontman solid state half stack. And my tone was a MXR full bore metal. So I use the term tone loosely.
It worked, right?
A lot of gain. Yep.
It worked. I'm addicted to those JHS pedal videos on YouTube, and I was watching one, and Josh said the funniest thing. He was holding up a particular pedal, and he was like, "Everybody says they hate this pedal, yet they've sold millions and millions of this." This pedal.
Well, that was the thing at the time. Like, this would have been the early 2010s. I needed something that gave me that high saturated, kind of triple rec sound without getting a triple rectifier, which it was just not in the budget. And
they didn't have one at the studio.
I found that gave me that real chug was the full bore metal.
They didn't have one at the studio?
No, that was the one thing about Metalworks. They don't, the only in studio gear was a grand piano. That was the only thing in the studio.
Oh, so you bring everything.
Everything. Yeah, we did rent a bass for the bass player because he was playing a piece of crap Warlock bass. No tone. So we rented him a Music Man Stingray. Oh, look at that. Tone. Oh, great. Sounded amazing on the album. He bought one within 2 months of recording the album because he's just, I need one of these. Like, yeah, dude, you do. And it was interesting because my gear was set up in an ISO booth, but I was in the ISO booth with my gear. So I'm playing at stage volume with headphones on still. And so that was interesting.
Yeah.
So Randy Crook says Doobie's concert is Sunday. Well, I just got off the phone with our good friend Tom Weber.
Mm-hmm.
And if you don't know who he is, he was Eddie Van Halen's guitar tech from 2007 up until 2020. And he is on that concert. He'll be doing all the guitars. So if you see him, if you're close enough, say hello to Tom Weber.
Definitely.
Oh, is that right?
Yep. Yep.
Yeah, that was just before you jumped in on the call, Ty.
Yeah, I was on the phone with Tom.
Tony, I need you to be more optimistic than that.
Yeah. Everything will be fine, Tony. Everything will be fine.
Fingers crossed, my man. Fingers crossed.
I don't know that. I don't think that Guns will stop the tour. I hope that Wolfgang is back on the tour before you guys get to see it.
I think he's back. Yeah,
Hey, unbelievable.
a touring member of his crew, or
Entourage.
touring member of his crew. Yeah, has tested positive, so they had to take a couple of nights off.
It happens.
Yeah,
They just need those.
I think we're going to see.
Wow.
Look, I think we're going to see more and more and more of this, right?
Yeah.
Probably.
Friends going
Yeah.
to see the Black Crows in Hollywood tonight.
Oh, nice.
Cool.
I love
Crows are
that.
going to be on this side of the country in a couple of weeks.
Now, is it still, or is it the Black Crows now, or is it still just the Robinson Brothers with some players? Because that's
Well,
unfortunately what the reunion was when the
well, they're-
reunion
they're-
happened a year and a
You know,
half.
the original. My understanding is that Sven is back playing bass,
Nice.
so that's.
But
you know,
no
so-
Gorman. Gorman's not playing drums.
No.
He
Did you
had a
read his
really
book?
bad. No, I haven't. But he had a bad breakup with them, didn't he?
They did. It was.
Mm-hmm.
It was. Yeah. Yeah. There was definitely some
Gorman?
resentment there,
Look, all things end badly, otherwise
Yeah.
they wouldn't end.
and unfortunately, their keyboard player passed away.
Yeah,
Mhm.
he was Canadian, right, Ben?
Yeah, I was gonna say a Canuck. Yep.
But yeah, but if you've seen the footage of them playing on this tour, they're tearing it up, man.
Who's the second guitar player on this?
I
Do you
think he
know?
was in the Brotherhood with Chris Robinson. I think somebody can fact check.
That sounds
that for
right
me.
to me.
Great player.
They're always a great band. I
Rich
thought.
Robinson's tone is just unbelievable. You know, I
Of course.
saw-
I mean,
saw some live video of him doing the intro to Twice as Hard, and I mean that is just that guitar tone chilling.
Yeah.
Randy Crooks wants to know how the Guns N' Roses show went. It was amazing from the moment that Wolfgang got on the stage with his band until the moment that Axl and Slash got off the stage. It was amazing. There's not one. The only screwy part of the whole thing was Slash's double neck guild with the acoustic and the electric stopped working in the middle of one of the songs, and he had to grab a Les Paul. Other than that, it was absolutely perfect. Richard Fortus was perfect. We went over this last week, but I'll go over it again. It was amazing and one of the best shows I've ever been to. And I've been to a lot of shows, and I'm saying it's, and this may be sacrilegious, but I'd say it's better than a lot of Van Halen shows that I've ever been to.
Yeah, they're definitely firing on all cylinders these days. There's no doubt.
It's
I mean, it's a powerhouse of a band.
I
And look, the songs are amazing. You know, they have great songs to
For
play.
themselves.
I
The
think it was
songs
amazing.
speak for themselves.
Richard Fortus said in an interview last year, because they were talking about when COVID hit, and they said it's really tough on them as an organization because they have 85 employees, and that's an organization, and it just makes sense when you think of you got the band, I mean you got management, you got the crew, and you got the engineers, which are separate from the crew, and then you have who runs all of their social media and fan interaction and merchandising, because they are such a big band that they need to have that infrastructure behind them. And they were taking it seriously. They were we need to get out there because these guys, and I think they did dip into their pockets as a band and help their friends out, their employees out.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, you raise a good point, Ben. You're like fan interaction. I mean, everybody knows they're not doing meet and greets and they're not doing fan engagement opportunities and blah blah blah. That's true. They're not, but they are still providing VIP fan experiences.
They are.
Absent of the band. Band's not a part of it, but they're still offering certain packages that require people to to go to work. Yeah, you're right. It's a big production. It's a machine.
Well, I can tell you firsthand that the VIP tickets, the ticket holders it was standing room only because there were no seats up there, but it was the area between the stage and where the first front seats were. And you could get right up to the stage like this, like as if you were sitting on the stage and you can touch the members of the band. and everyone who had a VIP ticket had a VIP shirt. And it was just amazing to see maybe 500 people with VIP tickets.
Cha-ching, cha-ching,
Yep.
cha-ching.
Yeah. Now, what were they? $1,000 a piece or $1,500 a piece?
I don't know.
Something like
They were too expensive for me to even look at.
Yeah.
Still cheaper than for the Stones, $2,000 each. Did I say that out loud? Yep.
The Stones are in this part of the country the day after Guns N' Roses. They're going to be in Charlotte, North Carolina.
You got to catch that on the way back through, Ty.
Mm-hmm.
That's a lot of tone in 2 days.
3, because I'm seeing Wolfgang on Tuesday. He's doing a solo show.
Okay.
And then Wolfgang and GNR on Wednesday, and then Stones on Thursday.
You're gonna really
It's gonna
like
be it's going to be an action-packed week.
Mm-hmm.
That's a lot of rock and roll.
That's a lot of And the next show that ties back could be going, what? I don't think my buds are working. Yeah, they're working. You just can't hear us.
That's funny.
Nothing wrong with that.
So
No.
Tony, Wolfgang is doing a solo show in Columbia, right here, almost in my backyard. I mean, he's playing at a venue 3 miles away.
Nice.
It's in downtown Columbia on the 28th. Dirty Honey, who's out with the Crows right now. Dirty Honey is going to open that gig, which is
They're
one of my
playing with the
favorite
Crows.
new bands.
That's a good combo.
Yeah, so he's opening up. They're opening up for Wolfgang on the 28th. And then Tony, Charles, and I will see GNR on Wednesday in Raleigh, which is about a 3.5-hour drive for me. And then about 90 minutes away from me on the way home from Raleigh, the Stones will be in Charlotte, North Carolina the next day.
And you're going to that show as well?
I'm highly likely to be at that show. I'm a little disappointed Charlie's not going to be there. Not going to lie.
I get that.
Steve Jordan, no. Steve Jordan, if anyone is going to be there instead of Charlie Watts, I would love to see Steve Jordan.
Sure.
I've seen him in concert before. He's a fantastic drummer, but he's not Charlie Watts.
And with you, the one and only Quentin James in the chat. Just
Hey,
saying.
Quentin James.
Yeah, Nine Inch Nails had to cancel a festival show, unfortunately.
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, we're seeing a lot of those postponements. I mean, one of my favorite bands is a band called Tesla.
Mm-hmm.
And, they had to Frank Hannon went public with his COVID diagnosis, and they did get to play a gig. The incredible Howie Simon stepped in and filled in and played that gig in Frank's absence, and but then they've taken a few weeks off, I think, before they resume their tour. And they're coming through this part of the world. Everybody's on tour, right? After 2020, everybody's on tour. So Tesla's coming through this part of the country in November. I think it's November 9th.
I was just talking about Tesla with Desiree yesterday. I remember seeing Tesla open for Def Leppard in 1987 at the Nassau Coliseum here in New York. And halfway through Tesla's set, they lost their power. And of course, us being New Yorkers, we're assholes. We all booed them, and they, told us to go f ourselves and ran off the stage. And Def Leppard had to come on early and apologize for them to us. It was embarrassment to Def Leppard, but I thought the show was amazing. With everything that went on, I thought the show was amazing. Tesla.
I think that was possible.
Whatever I heard of Tesla, whatever songs they played that night were fantastic.
Well, look, my first exposure to that band was the Modern Day Cowboy video.
Yes,
and I thought that it was so cool. I mean, it was during a time where, Frank was playing an SG, and then they had the acoustic on a stand, and it had kind of a throwback kind of thing with like really ripping guitars, right? And it was super, super cool. And I saw them later that year, opening, same tour, Dave, opening for Leppard in the Round. And they were fantastic. I saw them open for Dave. One year, I saw them on a solo pass through on their second record in Savannah, Georgia, which is about 3 hours from me. I've seen Tesla a lot. Great band.
No other band like them.
I mean, they're a really good band.
Well, I'm like, it's like, are they Guns N' Roses meets Georgia Satellites? Are they Def Leppard meets Georgia Satellites? Because they got that traditionalism of the Satellites in their music. It's just oozing it, which is awesome. Because it was different, and I still think Dave got to see the greatest concert of all time, which was the Stereo tour with Tesla opening. I don't know if there was a better hard rock tour.
One of the best tours I've ever seen. I mean, I seem to be saying that a lot tonight, but that was one of the best tours I had ever seen.
Sure.
I've seen Leppard. I've seen them a bunch, and the Hysteria thing's just hard to beat, man. That's the pinnacle of their career.
Yeah, they were amazing. I mean, Steve Clark was still alive. He was playing fantastically,
and he was so cool, man. I mean,
yeah, he played Firebirds most of the night, but he did play his white Les Paul Custom with a Kaler on it.
I remember he had, somebody can fact check this too, because I'm shooting from the hip, but he also had like a Tobacco Burst Studio Les Paul at one point.
He did for the high and dry stuff. He had a Tobacco Burst Les Paul Studio, actually for a lot of Pyromania as well. It's in the Pyromania videos. Like Rock of Ages.
Tony says that he saw Pyromania up close. I saw them on the Pyromania tour, but they were an opener for Maiden.
Okay.
And
I remember that too. I didn't see it, but I remember it.
I want to say Maiden was on the Peace of Mind tour, maybe. God, it was so long ago. Really stretching my memory.
That sounds about right.
Someone can fact check that too. But
so, Ty, a minute ago, you mentioned an acoustic guitar on a stand. Do you know what that stand is called?
An acoustic guitar stand.
Close, but no cigar. There's a specific name for it.
Is it?
Yes.
Then no, I don't think I know the name of it.
It's called a Gracie stand.
Why is it called a Gracie stand?
Don't know why. It's just called a Gracie stand. It's you. If you want to order a stand for an acoustic guitar, you order a Gracie stand. That's what it is.
I always wanted one.
This is where Tony, you are exactly right. So I'm wrong. It was 83. Leppard was on a headliner tour, and Crocus was opening. You're exactly right. Because who was opening for Maiden that year? I think it was Quiet Riot that was opening for Maiden that year.
Oh, no kidding. Quiet Riot. Wow.
I think so. Is that right, Tony? Tony and I have seen so many of the same shows. We live in the same part of the country, so
it happens. It happens.
Crazy Cook says, "Nice shirt, Nez." Well, I have to thank a very special person for this shirt, and it's not my wife. And he's sitting in the top right-hand corner of this video.
House of Twang says Crocus with a smiley face. I kind of dug Crocus. They were interesting. I thought the guy could sing he could sing his rear off, man. He was a great singer.
Still love their cover of American Woman.
Mm-hmm.
Easy as it is.
You know who I thought was a great singer at the time? And I don't remember his name, but the singer of Autograph.
Oh, yeah, man.
I thought his voice was crazy good.
Plunkett? Steve Plunkett?
I think that's his name, Steve Plunkett. Actually, I think that's also a football quarterback. His name was Steve Plunkett as well.
It's quite possible.
Oh, he's a Raider quarterback.
The Raider quarterback.
Yeah.
Different guy, same name.
Go Sports.
Yeah, man. I saw Autograph open for Van Halen on the '84 tour.
Me too.
Yeah.
Me too. And
Steve
I was told by Steve Lynch that on that tour, Eddie Van Halen told Steve that if he does any of his solos tapping, they would be kicked off the tour.
Hey, Bruce.
Hey, Bruce.
Jim Plunkett.
So he had
Jim Plunkett. There you go.
Jim Plunkett. Okay.
Thank you, Bruce.
So Steve had to relearn all of the solos that had tapping in it to play it one-handed.
Which was probably a lot of the solos, I would imagine.
Mm-hmm.
Because he was very good at it, so I'd imagine
And he did it differently than Eddie did. He did it way differently than Eddie did.
We all do.
Being that they were the opener, Eddie didn't want him to show them up. So that was it.
Hey, Laz. Yeah,
can't take part in the chat and have a good one. Well, then, Laz, you might want to comment on the pedal I'm going to show off in a little while. Just saying.
So one of the best opening bands,
yes,
I saw open a show, and been to so many shows, seen a lot of great openers, seen some not so great openers.
Okay, I'm gonna say.
But I gotta say this: it was a band out of Australia called Baby Animals, and they opened for Van Halen on the Foreign Lawful Carnal Knowledge tour. Yeah, and they were fantastic.
Wasn't John Waite the singer in that band?
No,
that was the Babies.
That was the Babies.
Oh, okay.
This is Baby Animals. Their singer, a female singer, I think she later married Nuna Bettencourt. But fantastic band, Baby Animals.
Nice. Hey, we got a bunch of folks joining in. Gino's here, the Chad, and Rob Baker of New Jersey for now. I think.
Hey, Chad. Chad had a birthday this week.
Nice. Yes.
Happy birthday.
He did. Happy birthday, Chad.
Yeah.
And fruitcake.
What were you going to say, Dave? What were you going to say?
I was going to say.
We were talking about open bands?
Yes, and it's not a rock band. And it's not a rock tour, but Little Texas opening for Travis Tritt. I thought Little Texas was fantastic.
It's always cool when you see the opener really give the headliner a run. This is going to be sacrilege, but a few years ago, I saw, maybe more than a few years ago, I don't know, get lost in time. I went to see The Who and at the Charlotte Coliseum, and a new band on their first record was opening that was Vintage Trouble. And that band blew my mind. Fantastic, throwback, roots rock band from Los Angeles. And I was so blown away by their performance that, and they later went on to open for AC/DC and lots of big bands because they're fantastic. But Vintage Trouble. Oh, Gino knows about Baby Animals. Got back together a few years back and put out an amazing album. I'll have to check that out.
Very cool.
Terry's here with food.
Absolute Mayhem. What's a good song to look up for Baby Animals? I remember I got that first record, and I loved every song on the record. I remember the opening track of that record was a barn burner.
What's up, Mayhem? Got your loaded pick guard yesterday, just saying.
Another amazing opening band for a tour was a very small band you may have heard of. Bon Jovi opening for Rat.
Saw that tour.
Me too.
That was the Invasion of Your Privacy tour.
It was.
The first time I saw Bon Jovi live, they were opening for 38 Special.
Wow.
And that was a tough act to follow. They had just released Slippery, and You Give Love a Bad Name was on MTV.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
Well, I was just thinking, I wonder how many times happened, like, back in the day, you'd find out the bill of a show, and say if there's 3 bands and one of those bands you haven't even heard of, but by the time, because you bought those tickets 90 days or 120 days out, that over the course you're like, oh, so this is the band I'm going to go see, because they will break over the course of that tour. And if you're catching them 3 months into the tour, curious if that's happened to anyone.
Oh, I got another really
Happened to me. I saw the Blues Traveler and never heard of them. They were the opening at a concert I was at, and they didn't break for another 3 months here in Canada.
That's a heck of a band.
I've got another real small band you may or may not have heard of that was an amazing opener, and that's Van Halen for Bon Jovi. When was that? 95? They opened for Bon Jovi?
In Europe?
Russia or something? In Europe? Yeah.
Yes, Mayhem. That's it. Painless. Good call. I just had to look it up on Spotify. But yeah, that's it.
Hello, Brandy. Hello, girl.
I remember seeing Tesla with Poison back in the 80s. Gino says I was there. I saw that tour as well, Gino, and I remember I wouldn't have wanted to follow Tesla on that tour. They were on fire. That was their second record, I think. That was the Great Radio Controversy. Fruitcake says he saw Bon Jovi open for the Scorps. God, but that was great. Quentin, did that really happen? Did Hendrix really open for the Monkees? That didn't happen. Did that really happen?
Yep. Absolutely. And he got kicked off the stage. He got booed off the stage.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Just proves teenage girls have no taste in music.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll myself now. I saw in the mid '80s. I saw. I went to a concert, and I'm not going to mention the headliner. Somebody can Google it and find out who it was. Stevie Ray Vaughan was very underappreciated as an opener at a show that I went to, and it was. And as a young guitar player, lover of all things guitar, and to watch that guy do what he does was pretty astonishing, unless you're opening for a radio pop band whose fan base could care less.
What year was that? Was that 89?
Oh, no, it was well before that.
85 then?
Yeah, we'll call it 85.
Because didn't Stevie open for this person twice, once in 85 and once in 89?
I don't know. Maybe. I don't know.
Was this person a British guitar player?
No.
Oh, okay.
No. I saw a new band called Pearl Jam open for the Chili Peppers in a pretty small venue. I bet that was pretty freaking cool.
Nice.
I saw Pearl Jam for the first time at Lollapalooza, and I think they were second on the bill. I think L7 was first, and I think they were second on the bill. And I remember that the outdoor pavilion was half empty, and that band was on fire at the time. And Chili Peppers were the headliner that night.
I got to catch them just as they were wrapping up touring the 10 album in '93, and it was great.
Charlie saw Stevie open for Robert Plant. I'm sorry, Ben.
Nice. Yeah,
I saw Robert Plant close to that era. He was on the what's the album with
Big
Tall
Log?
Cool One on it? No, it was after that. Tall Cool One was the single on the record.
I don't know the name of the record.
Was it called Manic Nirvana? Was that the name of the record?
Yes, that's it, Manic Nirvana, yeah. Yeah. But the record before with Big Log on it, oh my God, what a great record! The
Great
guitar
record.
tone, the guitar tone on that record was like a maple board Stratocaster straight into an amplifier, and it was big. It was no overdrive at all, and it was so big sounding.
Manic Nirvana came after that. Unbelievable got it. It's called Now and Zen. Yeah, great record. I think Manic Nirvana was the one after that. Yeah. Now and Zen. Yeah, Tall Cool One. I saw that tour. Cheap Trick opened that gig.
Another great band.
Thank you. Unbelievable.
Mayhem saw Pearl Jam open for Neil Young, which is when I saw Pearl Jam, they opened for Neil Young as well.
Bruce saw Skid Row open for GNR in '91. That band was on fire then. I saw Skid Row at a really, really small dive bar that was famous for live music 7 nights a week. And they had this band from New Jersey in. It was like early in the week, if I remember right. And saw them there was probably 50 people there for Skid Row, and they ripped the roof off the place. They were phenomenal. What's your take on Absurd? What's your take on Absurd, Tony? Listen, man, I dig it because, originally it was called Silkworms. Is the original track, and it was a leftover from Chinese Democracy, I guess, and maybe a bit more triggered and industrial, maybe is the right word, maybe the wrong word. So I kind of dig what they've done to it in reimagining the way in which they want to present the song. I like the guitar tone a lot. I love the guitar solos in the song, and it is what it is. It's got a very Motorhead punk rock kind of vibe to it, not what you expect from GNR, but it's still got a groove. So, yeah, I like it, I guess. I love the guitar playing on it. So now it's your turn. What do you think of it?
My turn?
Well, Tony was asking, what we saw for what we. So, Gino, I want to say that when I saw Bon Jovi in 89 or 90, I don't remember if I saw him in 89 or 90. He was on the New Jersey tour. I did not see Skid Row open that gig, I don't think. I want to say I saw Blue Murder open that gig.
Oh, God, that must have been amazing.
I saw Blue Murder a whole bunch of times. But I could be wrong. So you might have gotten Skid Row in your market, and I think I got Blue Murder in mine.
Mm-hmm.
I think. I could be wrong, though. So long ago.
Wow. So Fruitcake says it's my turn, and being that I am a newborn Guns N' Roses fan, I always liked the '87 record, but after that I was kind of like on the fence about the band. But when you see a band live and you see what they can do, and you're in that moment, you either become a fan or you don't become a fan. I became a fan. Now, that being said, the song Absurd, I never knew that it was an actual song that they revamped. But in the show that I saw, it was the song I liked the least because I didn't understand it. It was very jumbled. It was couldn't really hear. The only two words I heard was absurd and the F-bomb. And it wasn't pleasing to me. And I couldn't really hear all the instruments to me in that song sounded like they were just a mash. They were mashed together. Like the rest of the songs, I guess maybe because we've all heard them on the radio so many times that you just know the songs. And because I didn't know that song, I didn't appreciate it. So I'm going to say that I don't like it as much as I like the rest of the songs.
Oh, there you go. Charlie says Sykes. Yeah, I love Sykes, and in fact, we are trying to line up a Sykes specific show. Now, I need to qualify that by saying, unfortunately, we're not going to have John Sykes on the screen with us. But Dave recently met a player that is in a Whitesnake tribute band, and he has to go out and do that Sykes material a lot. And Dave thought it would be a good idea for us to talk to him. I mean, think about all the cool stuff we could talk about. Not just the songs, but the tone and the discipline that it takes to get into Sykes's playing. And we've gotten 2 new songs so far this year from Sykes.
Yeah. Would you guys like to hear a very little excerpt of a solo from a Whitesnake song?
Sure.
That your friend is playing.
That my friend is playing. Give me 1 second. Let me find it.
Let's see.
Okay, now let me get this ready.
That's a lot of notes.
That's cool.
Now that vibrato is Sykes. I don't care. You close your eyes, and that with that vibrato by itself, you would think it was Sykes playing that, and the tone was ridiculous.
It definitely has that Sykes feel and tone. But, I've always heard a lot of Sykes in Zakk Wylde, too. I've always heard a lot in Zach's vibrato. A lot of Sykes. Unbelievable brings up Concrete Blonde. I love Concrete Blonde, one of my favorite bands from the early 90s. I was really obsessed with that Bloodletting record.
I used to cover Concrete Blonde for a number of years.
Golly, it was awesome. Thoughts on Pink Floyd's Animals? I mean, it's one of the best albums ever made.
That's a Desert Island record.
Yeah, love it.
Yep.
Tony hears a lot of Velvet Revolver and STP in the new GNR song, he says. It's heavy, for sure.
I still miss Izzy. I like Richard, but I miss Izzy.
Well, did you like his solo stuff, Ben?
Yep. Absolutely adore it. Huge influence on me.
Yeah.
Because he's been playing with Rick Richards from the Georgia Satellites for the last 15, 20 years. 30 years at this point. Jesus. Hey, Brian Spaulding. He opened for Concrete Blonde on their West Coast tour. Very cool.
Oh, Brian, good to see you, man. I'm not surprised. Brian's played with a lot of people.
Oh, very cool. Hey, Brian.
Yeah, Concrete Blonde. I was really obsessed with that when I got into that record. Yeah.
Cool.
Very cool.
Yeah, so Dave, you get any new gear this week?
I did, but before I show this new gear, which I just got today, actually.
Is that true, Tony? Izzy is an avocado farmer?
Oh, last I heard, Izzy was still restoring old Harleys. Panheads mainly.
Wow.
That's crazy.
That's one of the reasons he records a new album every few years, is to finance his latest bike restoration.
So a buddy of mine, very close friend of mine, who I get a lot of my pedals from, and he's a great guitar player, and he's got a great record, and we will have him on the show. He bought me this as a gift, just because. It was just because. And it's limited to one of 6,890 pieces.
Oh, that's it?
And it's very cool. It's a very cool little thing.
Because that is very cool.
It is a Van Halen truck like Eddie's truck.
And it's called a C10 Eruption?
Yeah, that's what this toy is
Yeah,
called.
the Chevy C10 pickup. Originally, it was a 454 SS limited edition model. Eddie picked
Look at
up
you.
one, of course, had the custom paint job done. Not that I'm a car guy and a Van Halen guy. Like when I saw that truck was in every Hot Rod magazine in 1988, Ty, and we are just like, that is so cool.
Look at you.
So yeah, so I thought that it was extremely thoughtful
That's awesome.
that he just saw it and thought of me and bought it for me.
That's cool.
Yeah, really
Very
cool.
cool.
Janice says there's a video of the jam she played at last week on Facebook.
Oh,
So all
cool.
of you that are friends of Janice's on Facebook, go check out her video. I can't wait to watch it, Janice.
Nice.
So
Very
the
cool.
first pedal I'm going to show, I already own, and mine was a custom made version of it, black with pink lettering, which there are none. But this one is a one of one as well, because none of them have these knobs on it, and I absolutely love this pedal to death. And it is the Southland by Nick Greer. And this has it's a black face with orange writing and orange knobs, and it is one of one. It's the only one.
Cool.
Very cool.
And I'm in love with the sound of these pedals. The Southland pedal is one of the best overdrive pedals I've ever heard.
Greer makes great stuff, that's for sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
No doubt.
It's a little bit different than the Lightspeed. This has more gain. It has a little bit of a mid-range bump in it, but it's in the right pleasing place. It's very pleasing sounding. And it's just fantastic. And to have one that no one else can get, or at least at the moment no one else can get, because I'm sure he will come out with this color combination and put it out. But as of right now, it's the only one.
You know,
Well, I got a new piece of gear this week.
While you're
And,
grabbing that, Ty, I'm just going to interject real quick.
Yes.
I used to be one of those guys that had one-of-a-kind pedals, Ty. So Lawrence built me with gold knobs, his Vermin with gold knobs as a one-of-a-kind, which
Oh, nice.
normally this had a different colored knobs.
So that's a rat pedal, right?
It is. It's his take on a rat. And then he went and built an identical one with gold knobs for Music Therapy Laz. So now I have one of two. Right, Laz?
Okay.
Because Laz
Nice.
saw it, he went, that's so cool. You have to build one just like it for me. And then Lawrence did. And I went,
Nice.
Lawrence? But yeah, this is awesome. Which I have a 4-knob version that's due out at the end of the year. But he has added a bass control to a rat, basically. Which, nice. Ty?
Well, I have a pedal that anybody can get, and probably most of you guys have, but I didn't have one. And I got an Echoplex because we were talking about this like a week
on my
or two
want
ago. Do you have one, Ben?
I do not. It's on my want list.
So this, in front of a dirty amp, I'm shocked. I'm shocked how this reproduces that Van Halen kind of thing in front of a dirty amp. I don't know why it's taken me so long to wake up to this, but I really slept on this.
They're a touch pricey in Canada for some reason, so I've been waiting for one to come up on the used market, and Ty, I've been waiting for 5 years.
Yeah, I mean
Really?
they're $200. They're $200 wherever you look.
Yeah.
Well, I bought a tap to go with it. But one thing I've noticed about with this cool MXR tap, I don't need a stereo cable, so I'm just using just a regular input cable, little patch cable. But I'm really surprised how that's a large part of the sound, right? But it's a large part of the sound of a lot of artists that I dig.
Mhm.
And I'm typically do not like the sound of, let's just say, as a general rule, I hate delay in front of a dirty amp, period. Just hate it.
Yeah.
This in front of a dirty amp, it's the ticket, man. It is it is not just Ain't Talking About Love, but you obviously get that. It's not just that. It's that and so much more. This is fun. A lot of fun. I've not played it with a band mix yet. Yes, it's a delay, Mayhem. And it's a really cool one too, man.
Mhm.
I've not played it in a band mix yet. But I'm looking forward to doing that next week. And looking forward to trying that.
What I like about that pedal is it also, not only is it a delay, but it adds a little bit of boost to your signal.
Right.
It is super cool, man. It is. I don't know how I slept on it for so long. Because it's been out for years, right, Dave?
Oh, yeah.
Yes. Fruitcake Tony wants to know, what is the effect recipe for the Cathedral? Well, you need a delay pedal that is going to do a dotted eighth note, like a triplet echo type thing. And I mean, the way Eddie does it now is it's the your direct signal in the front, and on the two side cabinets is where you have your ping ponging of the delay. So you need to have something that does dotted eighth note well to do it correctly.
Exactly.
So an Eventide, a Strymon, TC Flashback.
Yeah, basically any digital delay will do it. You can even do it with a really good analog delay if you bring the mix up to 50% or better. But any good digital delay, you can get it with a DD3, a DD5, of course a DD500, a Strymon timeline. I even get it with my JHS Lucky Cat. Anything that has dotted eighth note, and you can get it up to 50% mix or a little tiny bit more, because you kind of want your repeats to be maybe the tiniest bit louder than the direct signal, not much louder, but you want to be able, because you're using your volume as a swell, and you want that delayed signal to be as loud or a tiny bit louder than your direct signal, because your direct signal is always going to be the loudest no matter what you do. So you want that delayed signal to be as loud, or since you're using volume swells, maybe a touch louder.
Charles says if you like the MXR Echoplex, try the TC Gauss Tape Echo. I'll have to try that. Do you run that in front, Charles? Oh, and Bruce has it too. Bruce, do you run it in front? I think the TC stuff is really good. In fact, I'm borrowing a TC pedal from Dave right now.
That you are. All right, I got another pedal to show off here. This one is from our good friend Lawrence at LPD Pedals. Unbelievable, just squirmed a little, along with Charles. And this is a pedal that's being released, I believe, as a regular run pedal 1 week from today. Get on the LPD newsletter if you haven't already, folks. And this is his new Tidal chorus pedal.
Oh, cool. You know what I really like about his pedals is that the knobs are far apart and you don't have to bump into one to get to the other.
Yeah. Silent switching, which is always nice. You have 4 knobs: a tone, which is nice, a level, which is your blend, a depth, and a speed. And the speed, you can go all the way down to 0. So at that point, when you adjust the depth, it acts like a comb filter.
Oh, cool.
So really cool stuff. Yeah, I know, unbelievable. You already got one. He's had the prototype of this for about 3 or 4 months, and he's been egging me on. Well, I got mine on Saturday. So
very cool.
Except his is red.
The input and output are on the top.
Yes.
I always like when they're there. I always like when they're there better.
Because you can that just means more pedals on the board.
Yeah.
When you do that.
Yeah.
So
I don't.
it's really nice.
Sometimes I like it for that reason, Ben, and then sometimes I don't because I'll get the pedal pushed up to the end of the board, and then I've got the jacks,
Right.
hanging off. Ben, a couple of weeks ago, you showed off a rainbow machine.
I did.
I tried one
Yes.
a few days ago in a local store. Very cool pedal, man.
It's a handful of weirdness.
Very
Wow.
cool.
Wow. And amazingly enough, I use it. It makes a really cool tape echo because you can put in just a little bit of warble in it, and it's a really cool choruses, tape echoes, and then of course, if you want to get really crazy with it, you get into using that magic button, and woo, it does some wild stuff.
Nice. So I have one more pedal to show. This one isn't mine just yet. I haven't tried it yet. And I know I'm going to get a lot of flack from Ty and other people. This is a Klon.
Notice I'm okay with it though, Ty. You're going to give him flack, but apparently I'm okay
Well,
with it.
because you don't give anybody flack.
I don't. I could not care.
So this
whatever
pedal,
rubs your Buddha.
This pedal is from Mojo Hand Effects, and it's called the Scared Cow. And this is one of 10 made in this box with this cow on it, and it's a Klon clone. And it's
I like Klons.
Yeah, and it is supposed to be one of the better ones out now. I have a Tumnus Deluxe.
You have the best. You have the best clone on your board already.
I love that pedal. I think it's in my opinion, it is the best one I've ever played.
Well, the second best one, because the small one is the best one, and you got the big one.
Well, yeah, okay, I'll go with that. I like this one better because I like that there's a little bit more EQ. But once my finger heals and I can play guitar, well, not even that. I just need a couple weeks for the stitches to come out before I'm allowed to play any guitar. But as soon as I am allowed, I'm going to plug this in and give it a run for its money.
That's cool.
It's supposed to be really, really, really good. My buddy who actually owns this pedal and lent it to me today with the option to buy it if I want to. He's got a lot of Klon pedals, including an original one. And he seems to think that this is the best one, and he's got two of them. So he wanted to share the wealth with me on this one.
Archer Icon killer pedal, Dan. Killer.
Yeah, the Archer Icon is great.
So Bruce, this is the second time you brought up a Tube Screamer. So you're a Tube Screamer guy, obviously. I tried a pedal that I'm really digging. I didn't buy it. I just because I do have some older Tube Screamers. So I didn't buy this new pedal, but it's a pedal by JHS called a Bonsai.
Yeah, great pedal.
Great pedal.
And it's got like every version of the Tube Screamer circuit. I've been asleep on that pedal too, apparently. And so I played it for the first time earlier this week. And man, what a killer box.
Yeah. Now, I believe that I have the best sounding Tube Screamer type pedal in the world. And you can also own it if you want. And it's the King Tone Duelist. I think the Tube Screamer side is the best Tube Screamer you'll ever hear. And the Marshall Blues Breaker side is the best Blues Breaker amp you'll ever hear in the pedal. I mean, there's a reason why it's very expensive. Both sides they're the best versions of what pedal they're trying to mimic.
I'm curious, Guitar Man 45, did you get that from Flipside? Because we may have been looking at the Flipside website prior to going on air. That had
Sean.
one, and then now they don't. So I was just curious. Hey, Sean Zimmerman and Citizen Kane.
Hey, Paul, I love the Saucy box. I love it.
I haven't tried that.
I think we've talked about that before. I mean, yeah, I'm a big fan of that pedal. I have that pedal.
I've heard good things.
I'll tell you another pedal that I'm big on that is really an inexpensive clone, and that's the Soul Food.
Soul Food, yeah, great pedal.
Yeah, that's a great pedal, and it's not expensive.
Yeah, I used that and the Crayon for years.
Like $60 or something like that.
Yep.
Good pedal, and I'm a big Klon fan.
Yeah, I
Guitar
like
Man.
it. And when the Crayon with that added bass control, that's what sold me, and that's why I like the Embers like unbelievable because it's got the added active bass control that you can add or take away 16 decibel of bass. So depending on what amp you're playing through.
Yeah.
Paul's got a
So-
soul food too. Nice. The sugar
Guitar
box.
Guitar
Love
Man
the sugar
45.
box.
If you bought that, I know Ben just said this, but if you bought that Embers from Flipside Music in Denver, you just stopped me from buying it.
Or did you have that in your watch list on Reverb?
No, Ben told me where it was, and I was just about to hit buy it now,
Yeah.
and it was gone.
And well,
All
yeah,
right,
that
so,
was-
here's a question for you guys, and you guys are much more pedal aficionados than I am. I want a really great vibe. I want a really great Univibe, but I don't want a big footprint. I mean, I know that there's some great Univibe clones that are enormous. I want a small footprint. Who can recommend a good vibe for me?
I can do it. I'll have to make a phone call to my friend Mark, who has given me these two pedals. He had one on his board today, and I don't remember the name of it. It's a high-end one, but it's really tiny. It's a tiny pedal. It sounds ridiculous.
the Unicorn by JHS. That's a good one.
Remember I told you the Sweet Sound was the best one? Well, this
Yeah.
one's the best one.
Well, the Unicorn is one of my leaders. I think the Dry Bell is another one of my leaders.
Well, rumor has it LPD's doing a vibe at the end of the year. Just saying.
Cool.
Yeah.
Hey,
That was
Buzzy.
it. Well, he started developing the vibe, and the chorus came out of developing his vibe. So then he's just like, "Well, I'll do both." And I was like, "Of course you will." And he Prince of Tone fans, Paul S. Yep. Hey, Bozy.
Yes. Big time.
Hey, Bozy.
In fact, a few weeks ago, we were talking about King of Tone, and I did not have one when we talked about it. I do have one now.
Nice.
Yeah, very happy with that pedal.
And I don't have one now. But I do have the Cornerstone Gladio, which I'm in love with.
Well, I think I see a trend here, guys. Because I heard rumor, a very loose rumor a few months ago. Dave was contemplating moving to Ty's area of the country, and I think he's just shipping his gear down one piece at a time in advance. So, yeah, I see how you're doing it, Dave. Save on the movers, honey. Ty's already got half of it.
Terry's made a recommendation on a vibe. Yeah, I love the Analog Man stuff, Paul. I have a tremolo pedal that's been modded by Analog Man. I've got a fuzz. And now I have a King of Tone.
Wow.
I sold a pedal today.
What'd you sell?
A little affordable Rowan, I think was the company. A little flanger pedal. Guy reached out to me. I had it listed, and of course, it's funny because Terry knows the story. He pulled up in the driveway this afternoon. I'm sitting there in the garage, wait for him to show up, and he walks up. He goes, "You're the guy in the demo," and I went, "Sure." He says, "There's not a lot of people that did demos on that pedal, and you're one of them. I liked your demo." I said, "Did you subscribe?" He says, "Well, I will now that I know you're local." Well, thanks. So, but yeah, I got to be. Hey, you're the guy in the demo.
Paul's right. George Trips does not make a dud.
Well, yeah, he says he uses a pork loin. That was the pedal that inspired the Overrated Special for Joe Bonamassa. He used the pork loin for a long time.
Yeah, and I love the way it sounds with.
Oh yeah, Terry brings it good, but yeah, I forgot the Sabatius vibes are really good. They're a little bit bigger footprint though, as I recall, Terry.
Mm-hmm.
But they're really good out of Argentina, I believe. I think Sabatius is out of Argentina. Does a lot of stuff with RJ.
They are, Bozy. They are, and they sound pretty good. The MXR The MXR Vibe is a really cool footprint. I mean, it's this big, y'all. It's this big. And the MXR Vibe is cool and it sounds good. I think I liked the JHS a little more. And then I've only heard demos of the Drybell because I don't have a dealer anywhere nearby.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. Dave, you like the Unicorn too, right?
I do. I have one. Hang on one second.
Okay, Terry.
Give me 1 second, guys, okay? Hang on.
Yeah.
Yes, Citizen Cam, down to 835 pedals. I wish. But yet only one pedal board, right?
Yeah, Bozique, they made a couple of them with Hendrix's face on it. They're all pretty cool. They've all got cool color schemes. Ben, have you demoed any cool Vibe pedals lately?
I think I've only done one Vibe demo on my channel. Because I only have one Vibe pedal. That would be why.
So I was just, while we're waiting for Ben, I was just, our friend Rob Cunningham from Planet Waves and Daddario just texted me.
Nice.
He wanted to give me a call. So, I'll make a phone call to him tomorrow.
I have, this was made by a local guy. It was a handmade, it's a tri-vibe. So 3 different vibes in it. Can't read it because he used the same color to, but I picked up a guy just put up an ad. Hey, handmade pedals, from kits or whatever. And Richie and I picked up all of them. He had like 4 or 5 pedals, and this was the last one I still have. I also got he had a tone bender fuzz he built that I had briefly.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah.
Cool. What was I about to say? I was going to talk about. I'm looking for that Vibe pedal. Give me 1 second. You guys talk amongst yourselves while I look up this Vibe pedal.
I used to have a old Dunlop Rotovibe like Zach.
They're cool.
Which was very cool, until
they have their own unique sound.
They do. Sound great. You know what really turned me on to that pedal? There was a band back in the day called Brother Kane.
Oh, yeah.
A southern band. I want to say they were from like Alabama, Mississippi, somewhere in that neighborhood. But they had a song called Fool Shine On. And the sound in that song, I was like, what is this? This was, what is this? This is amazing. And I learned that it was a Univibe, just used differently than Hendrix used it. And I was like, I could do some damage with that.
Sure.
And then when I went through my big Zach Wild, I'm not going to call it a phase. I just love Zach. But when I went through that whole thing where I would, took a deep dive into his thing, he was using it a lot. And learning to play those songs taught me a lot about how to use that effect and how not to use that effect.
Very cool. Very cool.
Yeah.
Bozique got the Cattle and Bread, Tony Iommi inspired Distortion, the Sabra Cadabra. I've heard good things about that. Very few people pick those up. And I will say, Terry, I do have a care package on its way from Flipside, apparently. Well, I don't have a tracking number, so I don't know if Ike's remembered to actually put it in the mail or not. But I don't know if there's going to be any pedals in there, but I know I'm getting some Flipside Music hot sauce, which is really good hot sauce.
Is it?
Yeah.
I've never bought anything from them. I'll have to check them out. You're absolutely right, Sean Zimmerman. Absolutely
well, if you do,
right.
I'll send you my affiliate link, Ty.
Yeah, do that. You have an
affiliate program with the Flipside boys, and I was telling Dave they've been great with me. As basically they've been connected with me almost as long as I've been doing my channel.
It's a wah pedal, unbelievable.
So while I wait for an answer on the Vibe pedal that I was talking about today, that I was shown today, sorry about that. I don't have the answer right away.
What? You don't know everything, Dave?
I don't know everything, Dave.
Well, gee.
I don't even know everything,
all right,
Dave.
Paul.
Well, in that case, you should like and subscribe if you haven't already, folks. Give us a thumbs up.
So I was never Paul is on my page too. Paul, the Dio. This is y'all can flame me for this. I don't really care, but the Dio Sabbath is my favorite Sabbath too.
There's nothing wrong with that. I love Ronnie James Dio's voice. It's just, you when you think of early metal, that's the voice you think of first. It's the voice I think of first. Rainbow, how can you go
Man, what a
on?
great song. I heard that song yesterday. I really dug the records that Ronnie made with Richie Blackmore in Rainbow.
Yeah.
I really like those records. I'm a huge Joe Lynn Turner fan, so I love the 3-4 records he did with Rainbow. Especially, is it called Straight Between the Eyes? Is that the name of that record? But Ronnie James Dio and Richie Blackmore really had something cool going on, for sure. Neon Nights, great record. Mob Rules, one of my faves.
Awesome.
I was never a big Ozzy Sabbath fan. I mean, I like it, but it's not something that I would reach for and say, "Man, I've got to listen to this today."
I listened to a lot of Sabbath in the early 90s. I think it was because we were just starting to see that next generation of what became stoner rock with the Fu Manchus and Caius. And it just rekindled my love of Sabbath, because that was the only other place you could hear fuzz, other than, Lenny Kravitz. That was it. Nobody else was doing fuzz. I can't play fuzz to save my life, but I enjoy listening to it.
I'm not good with fuzz either. I love when someone that plays fuzz really well. I love the way fuzz sounds when someone that knows how to use it plays it. But I can't play with fuzz to save my life. I'm better with overdrive and distortions.
But I love the way some guy. I love the way Eric Johnson uses a fuzz pedal. I love the way Bonamassa uses a fuzz pedal. And then when I think of heavier players, what's that dude's name in Wolf Mother? Andrew Stockdale. Andrew Stockdale. I love the way he uses a fuzz with a humbucker driven guitar and a heavy amp.
It's amazing that two popular fuzz circuits have spawned two completely different styles of music. Like you say, you have your Eric Johnson fuzz face, and then you've got the whole big muff with a humbucker, stoner rock thing. Completely different, but both fuzz driven.
We were talking about Dirty Honey before. I mean, he uses a fuzz pedal and a Univibe. Mm-hmm. I mean, speaking of Univibe, he uses those effects as songwriting tools, as riff writing tools. I dig it. For the longest time, I couldn't get into the fuzz.
I can just do it for the riff-based stuff. Like, I can't do it in a
but it's super cool
or any kind of taste.
Don't forget about the tone bender.
Big muff with a humbucker.
It's a good point, Terry. Don't forget about the tone bender. The tone bender's cool, man. Yeah. Okay. I thought Speak of the Devil was a good record. I did too. I thought it was a great record.
That's the live record, isn't it?
With Brad
Gillis. I mean, that's my favorite record. I mean, I'm a humongous Brad Gillis fan. So
Bozique, is that the song? I'm sorry, Dave. Okay. Sorry. Bozique, is that the song with Univibe and fuzz on it? Rolling Sevens? That might be. Those pink leather boots on Dio, Rainbow in the Dark.
Yeah, well, we all go through phases in life.
I mean, but if you think about that song, right, you got the whole Dungeon and Dragon kind of lyric piece of it, but you've got killer keys in that. You've got a killer singer. Yep. You've got incredible guitar playing. I mean, that solo is a beast. That's Vivian Campbell playing the solo, right?
Yep.
Just to be, Randy, we can't forget about the way David Gilmour uses a fuzz and a Univibe. Perfect.
Oh, forget it.
Perfect. Yeah. But that's a great song, Rainbow in the Dark.
Good call, Randy, on that. Yeah, David Gilmour uses effects like nobody else.
Yeah.
Yeah, and a lot of them. So there's a Pink Floyd live record called The Pulse.
Oh
Right.
yeah. Yes.
What an amazing
Album.
performance by Gilmour.
Look, and he's using EMGs in that red guitar. That's the Gilmour set EMG set, and his tone you can't.
So I was trying to explain this. I was trying to explain this the other day about EMGs because, you know, I don't know when a pickup became so polarizing to some, right? But I don't know why it's like, oh, you know, I like them, I don't like them, I like them, I don't like them. If it sounds good, it's good, right? EMG pickups sound great to me. Oh, well, they're too compressed.
I think they got associated with a certain style of music.
Well, it
high
must
gain music. So people think, well, they're a high gain, you know, that's what they're used for. It's like, no.
They sound so great, man. I mean, so back some gain off the amp. I mean, if you think that they're too hot or you think they push so much, I mean, look, if you were playing passive pickups and you thought it was pushing the amp too hard, you would look down at your pedal board and you'd turn your overdrive pedal off, wouldn't you?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So you think of the EMG with like an overdrive pedal, right?
I don't even know. What are the output of like an EMG?
If it's too hot, back the gain off your amp, right? And because I think they clean up terrific. I mean, they're very hi-fi. They sound great.
I just thought they were full sound. I never thought of them very as a hot pickup, as more as just like, say, a full pickup.
I've just never had a problem with these pickups at all. I love them. I think they sound freaking great. They're clear as a bell and they're quiet. I use most of my guitars have passive pickups in it, but I do have guitars loaded with EMGs and think they sound great, and I have fun playing them. Bozique's got the problem he has with EMGs is they sound inorganic, and it ruined the tone of a lot of otherwise good metal guitars in the 90s and 2000s.
I think a lot of the amps they were playing through too, though.
Well, it could be.
Blame it all in the pickups.
EMG fit right under the strings. Yeah, I like them.
With EMGs, you have to have them right under the string, like as close as you can, because you get the best fidelity out of them. It's a little bit different when you have a passive pickup. You want it a little bit farther away from the string. It just is what it is. With the passive pickup, you get an oscillating sound if it's too close to the string that you don't. It's unpleasant. But with an EMG, just like a sustainer pickup, like I have a sustainer in that purple Satriani. Now the passive humbucker in the bridge is farther away than the sustainer, but in order for the sustainer to work correctly, it has to be right under that string, and it's active. So in order for it to work correctly, it's got to be like so close to the string that it works. And it's the same thing with EMG pickups.
Well, they're not going to work for everybody. I mean, Randy says they don't work for him. That's cool, as long as you just kind of go into it with an objective viewpoint, right? Paul doesn't want to change a battery in his guitar. That is a pain. Not going to lie, that's a pain.
Yeah,
but
definitely.
Just listen to it objectively and make up your own mind as a player and say, and just have a really good reason. Don't let anybody's marketing or anybody's opinion influence yours. I mean, have your own experience with it, because, you know, heck, I can't use effects the way Jack White uses effects, but he's a pretty inspired guitar player, right? I mean, he finds inspiration in a different way than I do, and he made up his own mind that that's for him, the way I'm trying to make up my own mind that's what, you know, what's for me. It's like this, back to this. I probably slept on this too long because I had convinced myself that I just did not like delay in front of a driven amp. And I don't care what kind of delay it was. And that says delay. So I did not want to put it in front of a driven amp. And boy, was I wrong. I was wrong. And I'm glad I gave it another try. I was telling my buddy Jay today that, and he and I like a lot of the same things. I was like, dude, that thing, we've been asleep on this. you need to run out and get one of those things.
Hang on 1 second. Say that again. Say that you're wrong again.
Put that away.
I was wrong once, but I blame it on misinformation.
I was wrong once, but I was mistaken.
I was right once, but I was mistaken.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Man.
This has been fun.
Yeah, it's a great night tonight, guys. This is a lot of fun. I love talking pedals. I love talking, just everything that we talked about tonight was a lot of fun.
Yep.
We have anything else before we say goodnight?
Well, Bozique says Seymour Duncan and DiMarzio's all day, even stock Fender Gibsons. I like all those too.
Sure.
Man,
Yeah.
I love that DiMarzio Super Distortion. And I've not had one of those pickups in a guitar in a long time, but I am going to put one back into a guitar. I have just kind of
You have to.
rediscovered that.
Sure. So I just found out that Bare Knuckle is coming out with an Alnico 2 mule set. And right now they have A5s and A4s, but they're coming out with an A2 set that's going to have aged nickel covers on it.
Wow.
And as soon as those come out, they'll be going into a Les Paul that I have.
Really cool. Well, so what are my mules, Dave? Do I have a 5 in the bridge and a 4 in the neck?
Wait, which guitar is this?
My gold top with mules.
You know what? I don't know because, and I'm not sure. In my Explorer, in my Destroyer, I have a mule set in here, and because I didn't put them in, I don't know if they're 5s or 4s either. But they sound fantastic. But I'm really looking forward to hearing what A2s are going to sound like in a Les Paul.
Yeah.
Wow. Cool. Well, I'm a big A2 fan.
Oh,
Yeah.
thanks, Thomas.
Thomas?
Thomas, thank you so
man.
much. Here, let me put this
Thank
up
you,
here.
Thomas. Yeah, thank you very much. Very
Yes,
kind of you.
Thank you so much, Thomas. He says, great show, Dave, Ty, and Ben.
Appreciate it.
You know something? You're right, Thomas.
Hey, Dave.
Yeah.
Those are mules in the Explorer?
Yes. Yeah,
Cool.
These are mules. These are age-covered, nickel-covered mules.
So I have a newer set of pickups in a Les Paul right now too. Maybe I'll talk about that next week.
Great.
Cool.
I also have a set of Bare Knuckles Stormy Monday, the Stormy Monday set in the Black Beauty.
Yeah.
And I love those too. I honestly think that Bare Knuckle, you can't go wrong with that company, man. Everything I've heard from them, even the higher output stuff, is really, really amazing. It's
really good. I like the Bare Knuckle stuff. I love the Motor City stuff.
Bozique, thank you so much.
Hey, Bozique, thanks, man.
He says, here's a couple shekels from me too. Thank you so much, guys. Really, every little bit helps. Every little bit that you give us.
Thank you,
just
Paul.
goes right
Hey,
back
Jeff, have a good
to
night.
us paying for this show, because you got to pay StreamYard, and every little bit that you guys send to us goes right back into the show. It does not go in our pockets, and we appreciate it.
Yes, thank you very much. Thanks, Bozique. Thank you, Paul. Have a good night. Hey, Jaska. Guitar Man 45 has an Explorer just like that.
Nice.
Oh, cool. Well, this one is it's an Ibanez Destroyer, and it's not even a real Ibanez. This guitar, let me tell you about this a little bit. Let me show you.
It's a clone of a clone.
It is a clone. It is a replica of a 1975 Ibanez Destroyer. Now, the guy who made this, his name is Donnie Ward. He has an original 75, and he builds guitars. He builds neck through. This is a neck through, just like an original, or glue in neck, just like an original. The body on this one is 2-piece, and it's Japanese sen, 2 pieces, and on Ibanez's they're usually 6 to 8 pieces. So it's a 2-piece body. This is a flamed 3-piece neck. It's just really amazing.
That's pretty.
It's he did a wonderful job. I think it says custom built for David Nesdal or something like that, or handcrafted for David Nesdal. But his fretwork is phenomenal. This neck feels amazing. It feels like a 1960 Les Paul. It's a bit wide. It's 1/11/16, and it's got that thinner, tapered, thin tapered neck, which I really love.
Me too.
It's got 6,100 frets in it. It's a 12-inch radius fretboard. It's got a Gibson Nashville bridge on it, which makes mine a little bit different than the Ibanez. CTS pots, of course. It's just really, it's 8 pounds, so it's a little on the heavy side, but
it's also a lot of guitar.
I play a Les Paul that's 8 pounds all day long.
Sure.
I shouldn't even be doing this, but the guitar rings like crazy. Bone Nut. These are American milk bottle Grover tuners.
Appreciate it, Randy.
Randy Crooks, thank you so much. He said fun hang. There he is.
Thank you, Randy. Thank you, man.
Thank you so much, guys. Really. So this is like a mainstay here. It's just what a great guitar. So if anyone wants one built, I don't know that he'll build the whole guitar out, but he'll make the carcass for you, which is, put the body and neck together, and then you got to kind of put the parts in it and get it painted. But I believe he does the body and neck, the whole, it's a finished, it's sanded, the finished sanding. He does all that stuff. You just got to put paint on it and put the parts on it. But my God, does he do an amazing job.
Yeah, that's a beautiful guitar.
And his name is Donnie Ward. Look him up on Facebook. DONNYWARD.
Makes me want to play Van Halen 1 on that guitar.
He also makes bodies and necks for his various Van Halen guitars. He's in business with Chris Locke, if you know who Chris Locke is.
Sure.
So they do this together. So you don't have to, if you're a Chris Locke fan, you don't really have to worry about going behind Chris's back. Donnie is his partner. So it's all good.
Bruce wants a Def Leppard Destroyer. So do I, Bruce.
Yeah, me too. I want one of those too. 3 pickups, and I even want the Kaler.
Me too. Well, I want one guitar with a Kaler anyways. And I think Dave will pick me off the show if I get the Les Paul with the Kaler.
I used to have one. I used to have a Rampage that had a Kaler on it.
So Phil Cullen has a new one that Ibanez made for him. It's the same, and I'm not talking about the Jackson Extroyer. I'm talking about he has a Ibanez Destroyer like his old one from the Pyromania. Has 3 pickups in it with a sustainer and a Floyd Rose. He changed from Kaler to Floyd Rose.
Nice.
And it looks cool as hell.
It's a one-off.
I believe it's a one-off for him. I have a picture of it somewhere in my phone. I'll have to find it.
Very cool.
Yeah, I remember the first time I saw an Explorer. Ironically, it was not on MTV, but there was this local band when I was a kid. There was a local band, and in my mind, and they were really young guys, early 20s at the late teens, early 20s, but they were, in my mind, they were super rock stars. The guitar player, one of the guitar players in that band played an E2, a sunburst.
Mm-hmm.
And that was my first encounter with an Explorer. And then, shortly after that, Mateus with the Scorpions, was all over TV with an Explorer.
His white Explorer with black stripes on it. I always.
And then I was going back and discovering Skinner and Allen's Explorer.
Headlocks Explorer.
Ricky, the Blackfoot stuff, and
38 Special. His
38
Explorer.
Special. Yeah, but when I saw 38, we talked about 38 Special earlier. When I saw 38 Special live, that was the first time I had seen him. Bon Jovi opened 85, 86, somewhere in that neighborhood. They were playing Les Pauls mostly that night. Anyway,
who would you say is the biggest Explorer player of all time?
What's that?
Who would you say is the biggest Explorer or Explorer-shaped guitar player of all time?
Well, it's hard to say. I mean,
I wanted to restate my statement differently because I think the biggest player didn't actually play actual Explorers.
Rick Nielsen.
Exactly.
Rick Nielsen, yeah.
Playing all those hammers.
But he has 3 original 58 Gibson Explorers.
Yes, he does.
And one of them goes on the road with him.
Yep. Because why not? You got him.
Well, it's the most beat up one, but it's still one.
Yep.
Yeah, the Edge. Yeah, how can we forget about the Edge? What was his? Like a 76 Explorer.
It was a 76. And I think he's got 7 or 8 of them now.
Yep. I like when he does that. When he has a guitar he likes, he gets 7 or 8 of the exact same year. Like, I don't want 7 or 8 Explorers. I want 7 or 8 76 Explorers. Same as his Strat. He has multiples of his Strat.
Mm-hmm. And that, what is that, a 73?
I think so.
Mm-hmm. And he's got some that have black pickguards on them and some that have white pickguards on them.
Yeah.
But they're all black.
Yeah.
All black guitars.
That's why I pity the Edge's tech, because, the one good thing about U2 Live is when they play some of the retro stuff, the Edge has retro versions of his rig to play that stuff on. So he plays the right guitar through the right effects.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like one of the hardest rigs to deal with because it's all, whatever you hear on the record is reproduced live with the same effect.
Yeah.
Same guitar, same effect on each song.
And his text playing, but Edge, you had crappy gear when you recorded that. The stuff's falling apart. I don't care. That's how I get my tone. It's your job to fix it. I pay you well. Yeah, you do. Soldering iron, cursing and burning. We know.
Very cool.
It really is.
I don't know if I could, Randy. All great players.
I'll take a swing at that. In my opinion, but I get to give you the disclaimer that I can change my mind tomorrow. This is going to be hard. I'm going to go Gilmore, Kath, Page, Allman, Bachman.
That's pretty good. I would probably say the same thing, but switch Dwayne Allman with Terry Kath.
I put Page at the top because I got his guitar tattooed on me, so gotta do that.
Well, I mean, he does.
The coin toss between him and Gilmore.
He does have the coolest guitar of all of them. Although Dwayne Allman had a couple of 59s.
Yeah,
he's
also. I do love Randy Bachman playing. Randy just he's not only an amazing rock player, amazing jazz player, amazing bluegrass player. He's very. I think he went to school for music. I think he was one of the early people that did that. And he's still playing. And has a great podcast with his kid.
Very cool.
Of course, he's on opposite me on Sunday nights, but we're not going to mention that.
Well,
yeah,
he is a celebrity. He's allowed.
Yeah. I'm a celebrity in my mind too, Dave.
Yeah. Do you know who you think you are?
I think I do.
Oh my gosh, Jessica, when are you going to come on, Nez Says, and show us your cool collection, man?
Wow.
He got a Paletti, and he's got the ebony.
Yeah, very cool. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
He says he just can't stop getting new guitars. Well, we're glad you're getting them, Jasco.
Yep.
Matt, send me a picture of that guitar.
Mm-hmm.
But seriously, Jessica, when are you going to come on and show us your guitars?
Good question. I've
Yeah,
been
we'd
trying to
love
get
to
him
s-
on my channel for years.
If he sends me a picture of that guitar, if he texts it to me now, I'll find out when he's coming on right now.
Oh, he says he'd come on sometime, no problem. We're going to hold you to it, my friend.
Nice.
Guitar Man 45, same invitation. Whenever you want to come on.
Yeah.
Any of you cats, any
Well,
of
see,
you guys
like I
that
tried
want
to get
come on.
Jasko on, and I end up getting Quentin James.
Well,
That's going to
not
be a
bad
video.
either.
I expect a retaliation video now from Quentin.
Oh yeah.
Hi, Emmett. Hi, Todd.
Oh, dear Lord. So what else do we have to show today before we say goodnight? Anything else? Anybody? Bueller.
That's all I'm allowed to talk about for now. Yep.
Yeah, I'm good. This was fun. Good hang.
Demo on this will be out on my channel on Tuesday. It gets released Thursday. Just to recap, this is a pedal that Lawrence actually asked me to demo because 2021 being the year of chorus for me, I seem to be going through a chorus phase in life. And so he asked me to demo it, and I was more than happy to do it.
Oh, there it is.
Let's see this thing.
Hang on. Oh, geez, that's gorgeous. Oh, my God.
Oh,
wow.
Jasko.
Dude.
Dude, I'm digging the Friedmans in the background. Big
I
time.
knew you would. That is badass.
That is just
Beautiful.
ridiculous.
Amazing. I can't top that.
That's really cool, Jasko.
Thanks
Congratulations.
for forking me.
What kind of cabinet is that, Jasko? What kind of Friedman cab is that? Because I dig the vintage cloth.
Mm-hmm.
I have a Friedman cab with vintage cloth, and I really dig it. Well, I guess I have two of them.
It looks like it's a 112.
Yeah, cool.
I forgot I had the picture. I was like, wait a second. I'm looking for it over here. I'm like, well, wait a second. It's over here.
It's a Runt 20 cab with a 1x12. That's cool, man. Is it a
Yeah.
is it a creamback? What's in the cabinet? Do you know? I think the Runt is a really cool amp. Very, very versatile amp.
I hear you, Quentin. I hear you.
Well, you know what? I think I need to have Jasko here in the house with his guitars so that I can corner him into leaving them here.
So sounds like a good plan.
Yeah, Dave's personal Hotel California. You can check in, but you can't check out.
No, you can check out, but your guitar's
But
got
your gear can't. Yeah.
to. And when you check out, you really check out.
Oh, I got a PT20, Jasko. Man, what a great amp that thing is. I love it.
I almost wore my Jasko shirt tonight.
I have a very early PT20. In fact, I mean, the serial numbers in the top is within the first 40 produced.
Nice.
Wow.
Yeah, it's
So I'm
a
getting a
very
text.
early one.
I'm getting a text by Mr. Jasko right now, and we will see whether he wants to. I should be able to. I'll let you know next week. So we'll talk about maybe getting him on next Thursday. He said he'll let me know later in the week.
That'd be awesome.
Cool.
I'm down.
All right, fun stuff, guys.
I think it was
All right.
awesome.
So listen, we will be back next Thursday, hopefully with a bunch of more cool stuff.
Dave and I can really relate to that, Quentin.
What's
His
that?
last statement.
Oh, he's
Yes.
got a T-shirt. Jessica's got his own T-shirts.
Yeah, I've
It was all-
got a bunch of them. He sent me a bunch of them a few years ago, and I love wearing just random stuff like that. And just like people think they're like, "Did you get that at the mall?" Because it's a random business. It just says Jasko Plumbing Supply, Bronx, New York. And I was like, "I'll wear this all the time. I love it."
Cool.
He's my guy. He's my HVAC guy. If I got a
Thank you,
question,
Charles.
he's
Thanks
my
for the
guy.
hang, man.
Yeah. Same here, Charles. Thank you. Yeah, Jasko is awesome. Yeah, I built the guitar for him, and he's a cool dude. Just a cool dude.
Hmm.
He's got a lot of cool stuff. He doesn't live very far away from here.
See you, Charlie.
Paul Fuchs says he bought a Ventera Telly Deluxe 2 minutes ago. Damn, I love Tellys.
Nice.
2 minutes ago.
Awesome. Well, when's
Those are
Paul
great
coming
videos.
on, showing us his cool stuff? Yeah.
I don't know.
Paul's
you
in
know,
Wisconsin.
all
I
you
think
guys
Paul's in
got to do.
Wisconsin, right?
All you guys got to do if you want to come on this show, if you want to be in this little,
You can be next to me, right there.
just contact one of
I'll even
us.
scoot over.
Contact one of us on Facebook. If you don't have us on Facebook, you can contact me on the guitarwhisperer.guru or Nez Says. You can contact Ty at Ty Price on Facebook.
14 Tellys.
Dude, that's a lot of tellies.
Yes.
Wow, man. I
See,
can't wait to
that's why
see
I
some
love
Tellys.
Paul.
Some of your Tellys, Paul.
Yep. That's about the right amount.
I've
Just-
always wanted a Telly with a bowling ball finish.
Oh, yeah, from 83, one of those original bowling
Always.
balls.
Yeah,
Speaking
man,
of
with like the
actually-
blue gray, black, white kind of.
Yeah. They made a red and silver and a blue and silver, blue, silver, black, and a red and black.
I always loved those, and I always loved the black and gold James Burton Paisley.
Oh, yeah, those are great
Really?
too. Those are great too.
A lot of style. Tellys are just cool, man.
Mm-hmm. Yep,
It's
there
not
should
good
be a new telly. There should be a new telly in my stable in the next few weeks.
I was going to show off, and Fender just released a new signature telly for Jay
Is it-
Mastis for alternative music fans from the band Dinosaur Jr. That's his new signature telly.
Oh, look at that. That's nice.
Dude.
Yeah, mirror guard with that metallic blue.
Kind of looks like Chrissy Hines telly.
Look
Yeah,
good on stage.
and Jay played Jazz Masters for years, so something a little different. He was playing some Rickies for a few years, but yeah, let's plug a telly into 3 Marshall stacks or 2 Marshalls and a high watt. I think
Ain't
is
nothing
pretty-
wrong with that because a good Les Paul, just a big beefy telly.
Yep. And about 3 big muffs in line. Jesus, that guy uses a lot. He's loud. Awesome, but loud.
That's cool.
4 GNL LASATs. That counts, Paul. That counts. Still Leo's design.
Yep.
Nothing wrong with G&Ls.
Nope.
And just
Ooh,
to
getting
let
a
you know,
75th broadcaster soon.
nice.
Nice.
Definitely say our viewers have excellent taste.
No doubt.
Yeah. Maybe we'll get each and every one of you guys on at some point. Guys and girls.
That's right.
We'd love to have you all on at some point.
Mm-hmm.
And what else we got going on? Ty, what do you got coming up? Anything?
I'm starting to play a lot of music again. That's always good.
Everything Boner Jams. Everything.
Hey, Boner Jams.
What's up, sexy?
Boner, yeah. Nice to see you.
We still
Good to
like
see
you,
you.
Bozy.
Yep, Bozique, we know you're not a telly guy.
I'll tell you what. Let me talk about Strats for just a sec. Well, I'll save it. I'll save it for another time. I played a really, really cool Strat on Tuesday afternoon. Not what you expect. Not what I expected, and we'll talk about that soon.
It's a
Oh,
tease for
yeah.
next week, folks. All the more reason to tune back in next week.
Yes.
Tease.
And it's a good story.
Mm-hmm.
And for guys like Bozique, will love the story.
Yeah, I'll save that because that'll take a little while to talk about.
Nice.
Nice.
Yeah.
Very
All right.
cool.
Well, thanks for joining us again, everyone. It's, really nice that you guys join us week after week after week. And We all appreciate it. Thank you so much for all the super chats. It helps us
Our mods.
stay on here. Yes. Actually, Ben, you want to thank the mods for us?
Yeah, shout out to our mod squad. Got what? Terry, Mayhem, and Laz, I think, are all mods for us. I don't know. I don't see
Thanks, you
Wrench. I'm
guys.
looking at the StreamYard chat, but
Yes.
and me.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Not that I have to do much work because we have such a good crowd here, anyways. Hardtail strats all day long. I agree, Paul.
Jakey
Still
Lee.
Mhm.
And yeah, just appreciate everybody. Again, if you're new, please subscribe. If you haven't already, leave a thumbs up. If you're watching on replay, leave a comment down below. Dave checks the comments.
Every day, Dave
I-
takes care of it.
And I answer them all. I answer everyone's comments.
Yeah, so if you have a question you want to bring up on air on the next week's show, you can ask it there and we can jot it down. Or if it's a tech question that you want to answer right away,
Or if you just
Hey,
want to
bro.
call me an asshole, I'll be happy to thank you for it.
yep. Is any comment a good comment? Nope.
Yeah.
That's press. Right. Dang it. Jeff K. In at the end.
As
And
always,
also, too, if you haven't seen it already, folks, last Sunday I had my good buddy Sean from Smash Mouth on. It was a great hang. Check it out on my channel.
oh yeah, very cool.
It was a lot of fun. He's now playing through Fenders, folks. No more Mesa Boogies on stage for Smash Mouth. Now playing with Fenders.
No kidding.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, that's great. That's cool. I'm gonna check that one out.
Mhm.
So as always, Ty and Ben, thank you so much for doing this. You guys, I wouldn't want to do this with any other guys. It's awesome being with you guys here. And we will see you all next Thursday.
Right here on the Ned Says channel. And this
Yeah.
week, while the outro is playing, Dave's going to take us out of the call. Not like last week.
I will do my best
But
to
it's
do
Thanks
okay
for
if I
hanging.
don't, 'cause I'll just say goodbye again.
Yeah.
That's right.
Thanks for hanging, everybody.
Yes.
Have a great week.
Hey, Timothy.
All right.
Cheers.
Take care, guys.